They judged her by her appearance. But Emma's genius changed everything. Welcome to our channel, where every story unfolds with heart and inspiration. We're thrilled you've joined us today for this incredible journey. We'd love to hear from you. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from, as your voices help bring our global storytelling family closer together. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the notification bell, because tomorrow we have another unforgettable story waiting for you. Trust us, you won't want to miss it. Thank you for being part of our community, and we'll see you again soon. With another extraordinary tale. Emma Harris grew up in a modest, quiet town deep in the heart of Texas, a place where dreams were often overshadowed by reality. From a very young age, she displayed a remarkable curiosity for how things worked. Her small bedroom was filled not with dolls and tea sets, but scattered pieces of toys, gears from broken watches, and rusty tools borrowed from her father's old toolbox. Emma spent countless afternoons wandering through junkyards, eagerly salvaging old bicycles, broken mopeds, and worn-out machines left behind as useless trash. While other kids played games or watched television, Emma sat cross-legged on her porch, meticulously cleaning oily parts and piecing together engines that others had deemed beyond repair. Her hands were perpetually smudged with grease, her clothes stained from hours spent hunched over mechanical puzzles, but her spirit remained bright and untainted. Her father, Robert Harris, was rarely home. To outsiders, he was simply another businessman, always traveling, always busy. Yet, despite his frequent absences, Robert managed to leave his daughter with something precious, wisdom that would shape her future profoundly. On one of his rare visits, while sitting quietly together in the family garage, Robert observed his daughter carefully assembling a small engine from scattered parts. He paused, smiled softly, and gently said, "Emma, always remember, true value lies in what you do, not in titles or names. Your real worth comes from your passion, your skills, and how hard you work." Emma listened intently to those words, engraving them into her heart. To her, they were more valuable than gold because they affirmed her path, her identity. She decided that day that she would never rely on her father's reputation or resources. Although Robert Harris secretly ran one of the largest and most influential automobile corporations in America, Emma chose to carve out her own legacy entirely on her own merit. Each morning, as dawn cast its first golden rays over the sleepy Texas streets, Emma would already be at the workshop preparing for another challenging day ahead. She swept floors, organized tools, and meticulously prepared her workstation long before her co-workers arrived. The constant teasing from customers and colleagues about her oily coveralls and messy hair never broke her resolve. It only fueled her determination to prove herself. Beneath her unassuming exterior was an intense fire, a deep conviction that respect had to be earned through action, dedication, and undeniable skill. Emma knew that her journey was not just about fixing cars. It was about changing perceptions, breaking stereotypes, and redefining what success truly meant. Her father's words echoed in her ears each day, reminding her that no title or wealth could match the dignity earned through hard work and authenticity. And so, Emma continued working tirelessly, her heart set firmly on her goals, ready to face whatever obstacles awaited her. She was determined to show the world that she wasn't merely Robert Harris's daughter, nor just a mechanic in stained overalls. She was Emma Harris, a young woman driven by passion, guided by principle, and destined for greatness on her own terms. Despite her remarkable talents and tireless dedication, Emma Harris kept one critical detail hidden from everyone around her, a secret carefully guarded, quietly concealed beneath her greasy overalls and humble demeanor. At 23 years old, Emma was no ordinary mechanic. She was the daughter of Robert Harris, a man known nationwide as the powerful CEO and founder of one of America's largest automobile corporations. But to Emma, her family's wealth and influence were more burden than blessing. Determined not to lean on her father's name, she chose instead the harder path, to build her own identity brick by brick, entirely through merit and dedication. Day after day, as she patiently endured skeptical glances and snide whispers from affluent customers who judged her appearance rather than her abilities, Emma clung fiercely to her resolve. Her decision was ironclad. Her legacy would be earned, never inherited. Still, there were moments when the burden of secrecy weighed heavily on Emma's shoulders. Every evening, as the workshop emptied and she remained behind alone, cleaning, grease from her fingertips, she questioned whether hiding her identity was the right choice. Could revealing the truth silence her critics instantly? Perhaps, but Emma knew that such fleeting respect wouldn't hold lasting value. She longed for true recognition, rooted deeply in capability rather than mere association. Her secrecy wasn't without risk. Occasionally, colleagues whispered curiously about Emma's strange habit of politely declining invitations to social gatherings where conversations about family backgrounds inevitably arose. Rumors, Emma knew, were persistent, and each day her resolve was tested anew. Yet, instead of succumbing to pressure, she doubled down, working harder, faster, with more precision, determined to overshadow doubt with undeniable proof of her. Then suddenly, an unexpected opportunity arrived at her doorstep. It was an unusually warm afternoon when Jake Collins, the celebrated NASCAR champion and a frequent guest at the prestigious Detroit Auto Show, stepped confidently into the workshop. Initially dismissive, Jake's skepticism quickly transformed into genuine astonishment as Emma effortlessly diagnosed and fixed a challenging engine problem that had baffled mechanics twice her age. Jake, deeply impressed, approached her quietly, his voice filled with genuine respect. "Emma, you have an extraordinary talent. Would you consider showcasing your skills publicly at the International Auto Exhibition in Detroit?" For Emma, this wasn't merely an invitation. It was validation, proof that her painstaking journey was beginning to bear fruit. Yet even as excitement surged through her veins, a new tension arose. Accepting meant stepping into a spotlight she had always avoided, a spotlight that could risk exposing the secret she had fought so fiercely to protect. Her heart raced, anxiety intertwined with anticipation, as Emma realized that the upcoming event in Detroit wouldn't simply be about demonstrating her exceptional skills. It could force her to confront her hidden truth head-on. Emma knew the choice she faced wasn't merely personal. It symbolized something deeper, something powerful. Accepting Jake's invitation wasn't just stepping onto a larger stage. It was stepping into her own truth, prepared to risk everything for the chance to define herself, at last, on her own terms. Emma knew that accepting Jake Collins' invitation to showcase her talent at the International Auto Exhibition in Detroit meant stepping directly into the spotlight she'd carefully avoided for so long. This was no longer just about proving her mechanical skills. It was about confronting perceptions head-on and challenging the doubts others had cast upon her. Yet, with each passing day leading up to the event, Emma felt the tension building, both in the air around her and within her own heart. At the workshop, the reactions to her newfound opportunity were mixed. Some congratulated her genuinely, amazed that the quiet, grease-covered mechanic had caught the attention of a NASCAR legend. Others were less kind, whispering harshly behind her back, mocking her ambitions as absurd dreams. But Emma, ever resilient, refused to let their negativity penetrate her determination. Each sneer, each cynical comment only fueled her resolve, sharpening her focus even further. She started arriving at the workshop earlier each morning, as if driven by an unseen force, determined to perfect every detail of her craft. Long before the sun climbed above the rooftops, Emma meticulously organized her workstation, tools arranged with precision, engine parts gleaming under the fluorescent lights. She knew that in Detroit, there would be no room for error. She would have to demonstrate perfection to silence her critics once and for all. Yet, as the exhibition date drew closer, Emma found the journey harder than ever. Doubts crept into her mind during long, solitary nights, whispering haunting questions. Could she truly stand alone on such a prominent stage without revealing her secret identity? Would the public ridicule her once they discovered who she really was, assuming she'd relied on privilege rather than merit? She wrestled with these fears, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing heavily on her shoulders, yet refused to let them hold her back. The tension reached a climax one afternoon when a wealthy customer, someone influential enough to know her father's name, visited the shop, looking down at Emma with disdain. "How could someone like you, covered in grease and dirt, possibly represent this workshop in Detroit?" He scoffed openly, his voice dripping with contempt. Her co-workers fell silent, the atmosphere thickening around them. Emma steadied herself, looking directly into the man's eyes. Her voice was firm, unwavering. "Respect isn't measured by clean hands or designer suits. It's earned through skill and integrity. Judge me by what I can do, not by what I look like." The silence lingered, heavy and profound. Then slowly, as if responding to her quiet strength, several of her co-workers began nodding in agreement, their eyes bright with newfound respect. Emma realized that moment was pivotal. She had finally earned genuine admiration from those who mattered most, not by revealing her prestigious lineage, but through her courage and authenticity. From that day forward, Emma felt transformed. No longer did she view the upcoming exhibition merely as a challenge or obstacle. Instead, it had become her stage, a platform from which she would proudly showcase her true self. For Emma, every difficult moment, every whispered criticism had led precisely here, strengthening her spirit and preparing her for what lay ahead. The day of the International Auto Exhibition in Detroit finally arrived, bringing with it an electrifying blend of excitement and anxiety for Emma. As she stepped into the immense hall, her heartbeat quickened, the sheer magnitude of the event nearly overwhelming her senses. Gleaming cars filled every corner, illuminated beneath dazzling spotlights, while the low hum of eager conversation resonated throughout the grand venue. Emma paused briefly at the entrance, taking in the sight. She inhaled deeply, steadying her nerves. Her hands, usually calm and precise, shook slightly, betraying the enormity of this moment. She adjusted her worn coveralls one last time, mindful of their grease-stained appearance. Today, those stains would be badges of honor, a testament to years of hard work, relentless dedication, and unyielding authenticity. As Emma approached her display area, her eyes caught sight of Jake Collins standing nearby. Jake smiled warmly, reassuringly nodding toward her. "You're ready, Emma. Show them exactly why you belong here," he encouraged softly, sensing her underlying tension. His words bolstered her confidence, reminding her why she'd come, to demonstrate that expertise. And passion mattered far more than image or reputation. Soon the exhibition was in full swing. Crowds flowed through the hallways, gathering around impressive exhibits hosted by famous brands and renowned professionals. When visitors reached Emma's humble station, initially, they eyed her skeptically, their expressions revealing surprise at seeing a young woman in oily mechanic's attire amid such polished surroundings. However, as Emma began explaining her innovative engine improvements with clarity, passion, and expert knowledge, the tone shifted dramatically. Her confidence grew steadily with every word, her explanations captivating the audience. Before long, a substantial crowd had formed around her booth, eager listeners absorbed in every detail she shared. The skepticism that initially marked their faces gradually turned to admiration, their murmurs becoming gasps of appreciation. Then suddenly, an unexpected challenge arose. A well-known automotive expert from a competing firm stepped forward, his expression openly doubtful. "Interesting claims," he said loudly enough for everyone to hear, his tone dripping with skepticism. "But theory is one thing, performance is another. Can your modifications truly stand up under pressure?" The room went quiet, tension rippling through the gathered crowd. Emma felt a rush of adrenaline surge through her veins. Without hesitation, she stepped forward confidently, meeting his challenge head-on. "Let's put it to the test, right here and right now. Actions speak louder than promises," she responded firmly, her voice steady and unwavering. All eyes turned toward her modified engine as technicians swiftly prepared for an impromptu demonstration. Emma's pulse raced, but she maintained her composure. As the engine roared to life, filling the hall with a powerful, flawless sound, astonishment rippled visibly through the expert's face, and the crowd erupted into applause. Emma stood tall, amidst the cheering, feeling vindicated. She had proven herself without compromising her values, without relying on her father's name. At that precise moment, beneath the blinding lights and amidst deafening applause, she realized that this was exactly what she'd fought for. Recognition earned purely through merit, courage, and sheer determination. Emma stood quietly, still absorbing, the overwhelming wave of applause echoing through the vast exhibition hall. Her heart thumped loudly in her chest, the adrenaline slowly ebbing away, leaving a warm glow of accomplishment behind. The impromptu demonstration of her engine had been a resounding success, silencing skeptics and drawing admiration from even her harshest critics. She had finally done it, proved herself worthy not through family name or influence, but through sheer skill and relentless determination. As the applause continued, a familiar figure emerged from the crowd, moving steadily toward her. Emma's heart caught in her throat as she recognized him instantly. Robert Harris, her father. He approached calmly, dressed impeccably in a tailored navy suit, his eyes fixed warmly upon his daughter. The audience gradually quieted, sensing something significant unfolding before them. Robert paused in front of Emma, looking directly into her eyes with deep pride. Pride not of a powerful businessman, but of a father who had watched his daughter find her own strength and define her own path. A hush fell over the room, every spectator sensing the intimacy and importance of this unexpected encounter. "Emma," Robert began, his voice gentle yet firm enough to carry clearly through the silent hall. "Today you've shown everyone exactly who you are. Not my daughter, not the heir to a company, but a talented, courageous young woman who earned respect entirely through her own hard work. You chose the harder path, Emma, and you've succeeded brilliantly. I've never been prouder, not as a CEO, but simply as your father." Emma felt tears sting her eyes, emotions flooding her faster than she could manage. Years of quietly enduring, judgment, silently battling doubts and secretly longing for her father's approval suddenly rushed to the surface. Without hesitation, she stepped forward and embraced him tightly, feeling for the first time in years the warmth she'd missed. "Deeply, thank you," she whispered softly, her voice barely audible yet filled with raw honesty, "for giving me the freedom to discover who I really am." Robert gently squeezed her shoulders, his expression softening further as he spoke quietly enough only Emma could clearly hear. "You were always stronger than you knew. Watching you find that strength on your own has been my greatest privilege." In that powerful moment, the cameras flashed around them, capturing a deeply personal reconciliation. Witnessed by hundreds yet felt intimately by just two, those watching recognized instantly that they were not merely seeing a proud father embracing his accomplished daughter. They were witnessing a profound turning point, a reconciliation born from mutual respect, earned trust, and unconditional love. As the moment passed and conversations gradually resumed, Emma felt lighter, freer somehow. The barriers she'd constructed around herself to guard her identity and independence dissolved, replaced by a newfound confidence. She realized now that her true power had always resided in embracing her authentic self, without fear of judgment or reliance on privilege. For Emma Harris, this victory signified much more than personal achievement or public acclaim. It marked the beginning of something new, a life defined not by secrecy or expectation, but by openness, honesty, and genuine fulfillment. Her father's quiet words echoed softly within her, guiding her forward into the promising unknown. Emma knew deep in her heart that her journey was just beginning, and she was finally ready to embrace it fully. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Emma's story, a powerful reminder that true success is earned through passion, resilience, and authenticity. We would love to hear from you. What part of Emma's journey resonated with you the most? Have you ever faced a moment where you had to prove yourself without relying on anything but your own strength and determination? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. We genuinely enjoy reading your experiences and reflections. Let us know where you're watching from too. Our community stretches across the globe, and every story you share helps inspire others who are on their own paths of perseverance and self-discovery. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next inspiring tale we have coming tomorrow. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue to create meaningful stories that celebrate courage, hard work, and the beauty of finding your true self. Thank you for being part of our journey. We can't wait to hear your story.